from main method T1 so X value changed from M1 method modification effective to T1. Is it effective T2? No. That's what I am telling. It is depending on the object using which we call. If you use modification method first and next reading method with the same object, if you call modification method first and next reading method with the same object, let me add the statement here, with the same object, we will get modified value to second method. Okay. Now I am calling X with T2. Modification effect came or not came? Not came. Look at that 10. Now I am calling M2 method. T1 dot M2, T2 dot M. I am calling with the same object T1. T1, I modify with the T1, calling with the T1. Now we will get 50. T2 will not get 50. Okay, can I hope this keyword compiler JVM activities, all points understood to you? Complete theory points. All points are there in the videos, right? What is the your feelings, Neha Acharya? What is your feeling? What the use of this keyword in constructor? You only ask question, you only answer yourself. But the use of constructor, what is the use of constructor? Just recollect use of constructor, then what the use of this keyword, you will understand. Okay. So these are the points about this keyword. Shall we go to next points? Tell me, this methodology is static nature code, dynamic nature code. This M1 method logic, M2 method logic is a static nature code or dynamic nature code. What the meaning of static nature code? If this method logic is executing for same object with the same value, then we call static nature code. Repeating again, if a method logic is executing for same object with the same value, then it is a static nature code. Tell me, is this M2 method executing for same object or M2 method logic is executing for static nature code or not static nature code? Is it always executing for same object? No, it is working for current object using which you call this M2 method, right? You call M2 method with T1 executed for T1. You execute M2 method with T2 executing for T2. Call this method with T3 executing for T3. After 1 year, you call this M2 method with T4. It is executed for T4 without doing any changes in this code. Are you catching my point? Now try to answer. What type of method this method is? Static nature method or dynamic nature method? It is dynamic nature method because it is working for any object. What about this M1 method? Can you please tell me? Is it dynamic nature or static nature? It is working for which object? You can execute M1 method for any object. Okay? It is a dynamic nature for object, but static nature for value. You call M1 method by using T1, T2, T3, T4, T100. For all objects logic executed, for all objects, X value is modifying in the particular object using which we call, but always value storing what? 51. Okay. If you want to make it dynamic, you can choose as a parameter or you can read from the keyword. That's your wish. But my target is this method static nature or dynamic nature? That is what my target. So you confirm that this method is what? Dynamic nature with object. All you people tell me, I wanted to write a statement here. If we want to develop logic, if you want to develop a non-static method logic common to all objects, I want to develop logic common to all objects of a class and want to execute this same logic specific to each object separately with this object values. With this object values, we must what to do? We must access. See, non-static method logic want to execute for object means what? You must access non-static variables. Tell me, we must access non-static variables. How we must access non-static variables? We must access non-static variables in this non-static method either directly by its name or by using this keyword, but not by using any explicit object, but not by using any explicit object. Is it clear my point? Now, based on this point, I want to enter it into new program. Okay, save it, Alt Fn, Java. The topic is local object, current object, and argument object. Okay, topic local object, current object, and argument object. Okay, let me do one thing. This point, let it be there, let it be here. Okay, save it. Now observe. Now I'm going to write like this code: class test 15. Inside I'm creating one non-static method M1. Int x equal to 10. Here I am writing the statement system dot out dot println of x, then test 15 t1 equal to new test 15, test 15 t2 equal to new test 15. I created two objects. Okay, here I am taking test. In place of test, you can use any class object. This point is common to all classes. I'm taking just test is nothing but one example class I'm taking. Okay. I'm just taking some sample program. Okay. So in place of test, you can take student, employee, bank account. Concept is the same for all objects. Only name. I don't want you focus on the names. I want you focus on the concept. So that's why I'm not taking what you call any business example. After you all understand this concept, I will take business example to make you understand. Okay. Then now try to answer. Here I'm writing. I'm going to modify t1 dot x equal to 15, t2 dot x equal to 16. Then t1 dot m1 method when I call. This m1 method logic is executing for t1 object. Save. Test 15. Right? Now tell me, is this method logic is dynamic or not? Is this m1 method logic dynamic or not? It is reading the value from the current object using which it is called. Then I'm taking t2 object, t2 dot m1, and tell me, this m1 method logic is dynamic or not? Yes, 15, 16. Now, I am defining one more method here. I'm defining one more method here, m2 method, creating object test 15 t2, okay, t1 equal to new test 15 of, tell me, the name of the t1 variable in m2 method, the name of t1 variable in main method, same. Does it mean they are same objects? No. It is pointing to its own object. This t1 pointing to its own object. You have to focus on new keyword. Should not focus on the variable name. Should not focus on variable name. You should focus on the variable pointing object. Now I am writing here t1.x. Below. I am calling m2 method by using t1 object. What is the value you will get? 15. Everyone try to answer. t1 dot m2 I call. Then t1 reference will take. Will go to m2 method. Tell me, in m2 method, this keyword created or not created? In m2 method, this keyword created or not created? This keyword created. In every non-static method, this parameter will be there. And now this keyword is pointing to whom? This keyword is pointing to whom? The main method t1 object. Are you catching my point? Try to understand. Here one object there. Here object, here another object, which is pointing by t1 variable, t2 variable. Value here 10, here also 10. Now t1 dot x, 10 replaced with 15, 10 replaced with 16. Rough diagrams I am writing because already you understood. When I call t1 dot m1, control go to m1 method. Here this keyword is created with reference 1010 pointing to first object, reading value from first object. T2.m1 when you call, again control is coming here. Again this keyword is created. Some students last batch asked, sir, this is a final variable, sir, how second value stored? This is previous memory, this is new memory. Previous memory already destroyed. It's another new memory. Then 2020 stored in a new memory first time, pointing to the second object. Okay, and we'll get output 16. First time we got output 15. Second time we will get output 16. Okay. Now T1.m2 method when you call, T1.m2 method when you call, then control go to m2 method. Tell me, in m2 method, this keyword memory created or not? Yes. Okay. Now, first line executing. This is what T1 equal to, this is m2 method. T1 variable is created memory, right? Equal to new test. For the separate object is created with value 10 pointing to it. Then down I have used what reference? T1. T1 variable pointing object value what? 10. Output coming on console is 10. I hope all people got idea. Control 1 compile, control 2 execute. What is the output coming? 10. Tell me, the current object you passed, into M2 method, is it using by this M2 method? No. Is this method development is dynamic logic method or static method? Static logic method. Is it working for the passed object or working for, is it working for passed object? No, it is working for local object. Okay, I will call M1 method again. Okay, I'm calling M2 method again by passing T2.M2. Okay, T2.M2. Then tell me now. When you call T2.M2, again control is going to M2 method. Again control going to, it's black color, may not be visible. Let me choose some other color. M2 method again will go here. With which object is coming? Again this keyword is created, right? As many times you call method, those many times this keyword created, which contains what? 2020. Now second time it is pointing to second object. Okay. Now again here what happened? Earlier created object already destroyed because method execution completed. Once method execution completed, right? Once method execution completed, the variables created inside method are destroyed. These are the known point, right? Parameters memory are destroyed. Then here T1 variable destroyed and the object created for T1 is eligible for garbage collection. Then again what happened? T1 variable again created. One more new object again created where in heap area. Now it is pointing to the second object whose value is 10. Then T1.x value when you call below, what happened? T1.x is current pointing object. From there reading the 10 and display again what value? 10. Okay. So M1 method logic is dynamic nature, dynamic logic. M2 method logic is static logic. Here static logic means not static keyword, right? Static logic means what? It is working for local object, not working for a past object. So what type of programs I have to develop? Static nature code or dynamic nature code? Dynamic nature code. So develop calling the non-static variable with local object reference variable. It is a wrong code. Tell me, in an interview, people will give the logic something like this. All people will give wrong answers because we will never use diagrams, right? We'll never use diagrams. We will always use our own talent, na? Our own brain will use, okay? Dirty brains will use. We never try to analyze the memory diagram. T1 equal to what they will write, T1 dot x equal to 17, okay, void m3 T1 dot x equal to 17. And now system dot out dot println and pakka, this is pakka asking question. So interviewer will never worry about the class names and all. Interview exam will only worry about concept, right? T2 T1 dot m3 method is called. T1 dot m3 method will call, and down they will display system dot out dot println T1 dot x. All people will give answer 17, 17, 17. Tell me now, you yourself tell me, output is 17 or output is what, 17? Output is 15? T1 dot m3 I have called. After m3 method completed, I call T1 dot x. What is the output you will get? T1 dot x value how much? Please draw a memory diagram and tell me. Try to draw a memory diagram and tell me. Yeah, allow correct point. That is correct point. Other people are giving whatever answers they like. There is a one black sheep in your class. There is a one black sheep. Vasikar there in your batch. His name is MM. MM Kirwania. Wonderful question raised. Sir, what is the use of 15 lines? What is the use of this line? Currently we are discussing user. We all in one way. We all going in one path. And he is going in another path. Okay. We are all going in one path. We are in one train. He is there in another train. Come on, all people tell me what is the answer we'll get after T1.m3 for T1 object X. Okay, people who are telling 10, already we modified T1 value here. T1.x value in main method already modified to 15. Now should be either 15 or should be 17. Which one is right answer? 15 or 17? T1 object created. X value how much? First 0, replace with 10, then replace with 15. Because of the statement 15 came. Okay? Then going on, come here. Now I call T1.M3. Control go to M3 method. Here this keyword created with what value? 10, pointing to the object. Next, T1.x equal to 17. 17 is stored in X variable in T1. Which T1? Which T1? Main method T1, local object T1. Local object T1. Is the 17 affected to main method T1? Is that 17 affected to main method T1? No. After main method completed, control come back to, okay, after control, M3 method completed, control come back. Then this T1.M1, M3 method T1, main method T1. It is main method T1. In main method T1 available how much? 15. You will get output 15. So this is the tricky point people will ask, confusing purpose. So you should have clarity, the object belongs to whom. This object T1 variable, it is pointing to which object, you must know it. Okay? Is it clear to all? Now I want to give one big program. Can you try to answer? I don't know whether it is there in your video or not. Now it's the time you need to solve one big question. You should have clarity on, you are solving, you are accessing object, you are accessing non-static variable from which object, that clarity you should have. Okay, I given that clarity by calling all these points. Now you should tell me output of this program. Array, where is that program? Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, this program I want you to try. Only one object, okay? Working with only one object in main method. Chalo, take your own time. Can you complete in 5 minutes? All the people should try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 SOP statements are there. Try. Yeah, there is a compile time error. Did you notice there is a compile time error? In M5 method, there is a compile time error. Why? Okay, here X variable I have called compiler searching for X variable in M1 method. In M1 method, X variable is not available. Searching in class, it is available. Compile successfully. In M2 method, I access X variable using T1. T1 variable available here. X variable available in the class example. So compile. X variable accessing from class, compile. T1 equal to new example, T1 equal to new example, T1 dot X. Compiler searching for T1 variable available here. So compile. Is this line any of you understand? Is there any compile time error? ext1 equal to this. Is it understood? Is it understood? What the meaning of it? You are assigning T1 value, sorry, you are assigning this keyword to T1 variable. This is a variable of type example. T1 is a variable of type example. Example variable can be assigned to example na? So it is compiled, no problem. T1.x refers to current class. Right? The next M5 method, T1 variable searching where any M5 method not available. Searching in the class not available. So will it go to main method T1? No. We'll get compiled error here. Cannot find symbol T1.x equal to 20. Variable T1. T1.x equal to 21. Compiler variable cannot find symbol. Okay, line number 21, we got compiled error. I'm commenting this. Can I hope all you understood? Next. Next, M6 method. Mr. EMM, can you unmute? What is your doubt? He left. Yeah, Mr. MM told, did you understand? I asked. He said, no, not understand. Then I asked him to unmute to ask a question. He left class. Okay. So great people there in the class today. So a fraction of the moment I click on unmute, you click on left and went out from the class. Okay, fine. Now tell me now. In the M6 method, here this x variable is which x? Is it non-static variable x, or is it local variable x? It is local x. Do you remember local preference? When you access variable, first it is searching for the variable inside method, right? Okay, Subham Nirvan, it is not access preference, that is local preference. Okay, x variable found here, it will not go to class level variable. Then tell me, is this 22 stored in current object? Can compiler add here this keyword? Here compiler will not add this keyword. Okay, next, if you want differentiate local variable from class level variable, what should I use here? This keyword. Okay, you must use this keyword, this dot x equal to 23. Now 23 will store in current object x. Okay, now so now finally let us try to find out. We got compile time error commented. Object is created with x variable, default value 0, replace with 10, t1 variable pointing to it. So t1 dot x value, initial value we got 10. I call t1 dot m1 method. 5 is stored in current object, then 10 replace with 5. After method execution completed, t1 dot x value 5. t1 dot m2 method, in m2 method 7 stored in x in local object t1, no effect to current object, then x value will get 5. t1 dot m3 method, now 12 stored in x in current object. When there is no this here, compiler will add this dot internally. Now 5 replaced with 12. Next, store 14 in X in T1 pointing object, that is local object, no effect to current object. Control come back. T1 dot X means this object. What the value available? 12. Next, T1 dot M4 method. Okay, 16 stored in X variable, and there is no this keyword here. There is no this keyword and there is no local variable. 16 stored in current object, 12 replaced with 16. Now after method completed, you will get 16. Only thing you need to notice, in that method, the value modified in which object you have to check, that's it. The next T1.M5 method, control go there, no logic, coming back. So you will get value 16. Now call T1.M6 method, control come here, X memory create a store 22 in X local variable. Local variable, now no modification to current object, you will get 16. Next, T1.M7 method, control go here. Now 23 stored in X in current object. Local object will be ignored and 16 replaced with 22. Now T1.X value 22. So this is what my output. Let us check with the system. Control 1, control 2. Somewhere missing. Oh, M4 method we have not taken. M4 method we have not run. Oh, I have in the middle I came out. Okay. Then T1 is also pointing to same object. Sorry. 16, 18 stored in X in T1 pointing object. T1 pointing object is, it is 18. Okay, I have run only first line, remaining 2 lines I didn't execute. This is 18, this is 18. Okay. How many of you given correctly answer? Okay. So I hope you all understood. Please try to practice all these points once again by your own. Okay, this program is very, very important program. So requesting you all, whatever the discussion we have made in today's class, requesting you everyone to practice. So today discussed points. Non-static variable, accessing inside non-static method, this presence of compiler activity, JVM activities, modification activities. And this is the program for that. So if you understand these points, next project development will become very easy. Okay. Next program. This is a small program. Okay. And now this is the complete list of different test cases program. Inside M5 method, where is T1 variable? Error is for T1 variable. Here error is cannot find symbol T1. Here T1 variable is accessing, where is T1? T1 means this. Hey, you decided. How can I say T1 means this? Where T1 means this? inside M5 M4 method. How can I access M4 method T1 variable inside M5 method? That is local to M4. How can I access local variables? Variable chapter forgot. Local variable of one method. How can I access in another methods? T1 is available here. T1 is available here. So many places T1 is there. How can I access one method variable in another method? Understand? T1 is not current object, Babu. T1 is a variable. This refers to current object. T1 is a local variable. Why it point into current object? Thank you. That's all for the day. So tomorrow, no class. Next class will be on Monday. Monday will continue understanding more points about local object, current object, and argument object, and variable shadowing, initializing object. Some setter getter method points are there. We'll discuss. Thank you. See you all on Monday. Up to now, whatever we have discussed, please revise all points tomorrow. Tomorrow is not holiday. Tomorrow is not rest day. Tomorrow is revision day. Okay? Thank you. Bye.